Good evening. I have done my assistive technology project on the various low-tech, mid-tech, and high-tech items that is available through the federal quota fund that MCB holds through American Printing House for the Blind. American Printing House for the Blind, also known as APH, is a nonprofit organization that serves growing population of people of all ages who are blind or low vision or legally blind or deaf-blind. And they have a lot of different programs, initiatives, services, and products which empower people with vision loss to live as independently as possible. The APH website is www.aph.org. So what is the federal quota program? Well, back in 1879, the Act to Promote Education of the Blind was passed, and this federal act, Congress created a permanent annual appropriation for the specific purposes of manufacturing and furnishing books and other materials specifically adapted for instruction of blind students in the United States and its territories. So the federal quota is held by the American Printing House for the Blind. So they are the ones that manufacture an extensive inventory of commercially unavailable educational aids, tools, and supplies which address the specific learning and rehabilitation needs that a vision loss creates. So they hold, the federal quota is held through APH. And here in Massachusetts, Mass Commission for the Blind holds our funds. So how does one become eligible? The eligibility requirements for the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind APH Federal Quota Program. Well, first of all, you must be registered with MCB over the age of 18 and out of high school. You have to have an eye exam within the past 3 years that diagnoses you as legally blind, low vision. You have to receive a minimum of 20 hours of documented instruction per week for 12 weeks in a preceding calendar year. They do not have to be consecutive, but you need to have that. So some of the rehabilitative programs include adult day health programs, community-based day programs, mobile day services. If someone is on an ISP or a DHSP, then they are eligible. A lot of people have recently been kind of kicked off of APH because they're not attending day programming due to the pandemic, which is an unfortunate situation. But hopefully, once they get back to day programming, they'll be back on the APH federal quota. For more information regarding the APH federal quota funds, and you can find that information on the website, the DDS MCB website. It's under Focus on Vision and visionloss.org, and then you will scroll to the federal quota tab. So I'm just going to go over a few of the low-tech APH items. There's way more low-tech APH items, and but these items are covered, so they're free to the individuals. There's an all-in-one board. There's a student model and a larger model, and that's got a dry erase, and it also, on one side, it's got a magnetic, and then on the other side, it's Velcro. And the reason I think this is great is because there was the young man that had an assistive technology, and he used a wipe-off board. Well, here's one that they can get for free through the APH product. They also have a work and play tray that's great for putting anything in a tray to keep it contained for when you're low vision, but it also is great for communications because you can put different things on the tray and have them choose what they want to do. There's a tactile book building kit, which is my all-time favorite. So this can be a communication book, it can be a guide for how to make something, it can be a daily routine book, it can just even be just a scrapbook. But it's textured and it comes with all the pages. It's a wonderful, wonderful kit. And then they have graph benders, which can be made into all sorts of things, objects. It can do a map of a room for orientation. It can spell out words. It can show yes, no. You can use it for just about anything. So continuing with low-tech APH items, as you can see, there is the tactile doodle, the fold right letter folding tool, SAM, which is symbols and meanings, tactile connections, which is these where you create tactile communication objects. We have the stacks, graphic art tape, and deaf-blind pocket communicator. And on the pictures the top picture is of the bookmaking kit. The middle picture is the stacks augmented tactile, which I use a lot with my folks in choice making, and also with my deaf-blind folks to tell them where I'm going to take them. I show them the symbol, and then we go there, so they have some form of communication. And the bottom one is the SAM symbols and meanings. Some more items is the textured paper collection. This is really, really handy for identifying things for people with low vision, to use different kinds of texture. I was working with a speech and language person, and they had a switch, and they wanted to make the switches different textures so the person knew which switch was which. So we use the paper. You can see the papers on the all the paper colors, and some of it is foam and suede and rough and smooth and silky and all different kind of textures. They have feel and peel braille printed numbers. So you can also label anything. I label a lot of times people's place in a table so they can find it and know it's their spot, their seat. Read and write stands, great for a lot of different things, but iPads can go on there. They have a large one, and a mini one. They also have a desktop reading stand, a portable easel, and what you're seeing in the top right is the tactile connections, and that's a schedule. So those are also APH products. These are all great low-tech communication scheduling products. All right, so now we move into the mid-tech, a little bit more training, a little bit more, using technology. We have an APH sound page, which is something you can record. You can record instructions. You can record a book. You can record them on these little tiny recorders. You have portable sound source. That's almost like where you're teaching somebody to utilize their auditory in kind of putting sound sources and letting them know where it comes from. You have the I Am Able kit that's starting to phrase literacy and Braille for communication and reading. You have the Braille Buzz, which is another kind of programming to learn Braille. You have the Light Box, and that's great for CVI, cortical vision impairment complexity sequence, to kind of get to learn what different objects are and associate them with activities. And you use a Light Box. A Joy Player, which is basically like a very low-tech Alexa. You download music or download books to it, and you can teach people how to turn it on, turn it off, turn it up, and through switches. You have the Sensory Learning Kit, which is the top right corner, and that has a lot of sensory items, but it's a cause of effect where you touch a button and the vibrating pillow goes on, or you touch the switch or the toggle switch if you don't have a lot of movement, and you turn on a blender. So those are all sorts of some cool mid-tech items that are free to the people that are eligible. And now we have what I would consider the high-tech APH items. This is a little bit more advanced. There's a lot more training, a lot more consistent training, and these are the things that people have a lot of difficulty doing sometimes by themselves. They need staff support, at least the folks that I support. So we have a smart brailer. We have the Juno, which is a magnifier. We have the video handheld magnifier. We have a mini guide USA, which actually tells you what's in front of you when you're walking. Can alert you of different objects. We have an O&M trivia Alexa, so you need an Alexa or Google. You have a reader and enterprise portable scanning stand, which is you put your iPhone on this stand and then you put any kind of document underneath it, and you have this software that will scan it and then read it to you. We have the Mat Connect, which has this incredibly telephotic lens, and then it's a tablet, but it has this really cool stand. That's the one in the photograph on the left. It's a really cool magnifier. It also has object recognition where it will read things to you, and it's touch screen. And then we have Code Quest. But with these kinds of items, there is a lot of training involved, and for the folks that I support, they need to also have staff trained on them, because otherwise there's a lot of abandonment, unfortunately, I have seen. So in conclusion, the APH federal quota funds have a lot of items that would be appropriate for low-tech, mid-tech, and high-tech assistive technology for the individuals that I support or that we support through DDS. Certainly, I wish I was there with you guys. Unfortunately, I'm out, but I have attached the www.aph.org website link, and you can go on and see all the other products that are available. But I have picked out the ones that I feel I use a lot, and I do have a top 10 recommended ones. If there was only 10 you could pick, I would pick these ones, and they are the all-in-one board, tactile connections, tactile book building kit, the Mat Connect, the stacks, the carousel of textures, the work and play trays, the sensory learning kit, and for those that are know Braille, the smart Brailler, and of course the video mag handheld magnifier. So those are my top 10 recommended items. Thank you.